I could not even like sit down and do any like my exercise. I was doing it on the bed because
Yes,
I was not able to sit down and do it because I
I
was
remember
scared of
that.
getting
Yes.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
not able to tie my lace. In
Yeah.
fact, I came back to from India to the US on a wheelchair. Like from not able to walk a block, I think in 4.5 months, I did like a 4.5 mile hike, all thanks to you. To top that off, uh, I actually went to Peru and I did the Salcantay trek, which is like a 5-day night trek. The trek itself is at a higher elevation. It's about around at 12,000 feet, when you
Wow.
start.
In
So
this video, I'm going to talk about my online client Muthapa, who's been suffering from chronic lower back pain due to lumbar disc bulges over the last 4 years. And in this video, he's going to share with you his story, what he's been doing over the last 4 years, what really helped him the most in his recovery, and what didn't help him. When we start his plan, he was not able to walk for a block comfortable. And a couple of weeks ago, Muthapa managed to travel to Peru and hike for 14 miles with 3,000 elevation in one day. If you're suffering from lumbar disc bulges, I believe this video can hugely help you in regards to your recovery. And by watching what he has done, you can create some sort of understanding what rehab required if you're suffering from chronic lower back pain and what could hopefully help you in regards to your recovery. If you've never been in this channel, my name is Bob. I'm a physical therapist. I help people globally through online consultation and rehab plan. And if you're suffering from lumbar disc bulges, I believe I can help you. You can use the link below and connect with me and we can organize a consultation for you and we get you started right away.
We've been working for quite some time together. Today, we want to share like your story with people who are listening to and watching this video. We can maybe start with like, how did you end up initially contacted me? Because we've been working now for quite some times, right?
yeah, it's been a year. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe you start with how did you end up contacting me, Muthapa? I suppose that would be the best way to start with.
All right. Okay. So I live in the U.S. and I'm originally from India, and so at the time last year, April, before I contacted you, I was in a lot of pain, and I'll come to that later. And I did not know what else I could do in order to help myself, right? Because I had tried so many things over the last few years, and I was clueless. So I was always like, YouTube, how to get rid of my pain, like, how to get my life better, how can I start walking, without experiencing pain. Even like, having to walk like 10 steps would cause me like so much debilitating pain that I did not had any hope for my future. So I was always like, after work, I have a full-time job. Even back then I had a full-time job. And so I would come back home and then would look at various YouTube videos and Google on, like, how to reduce my back pain, like how do you reduce my leg pain, and like, bulging discs and sciatica and things. I read about all this. Then luckily, I know, like a godsend, I stumbled on your video and I see like some of the testimonials that your
Yeah.
patients who you have treated over the last few years, their testimonies. And I was like, oh my God, maybe this person is somebody who could help me, right? So, but it did not give me a confirmation yet, right? So
Yeah.
it literally took me about 3.5 weeks of non-stop thinking about, i- am I doing the right thing? Is it a scam? Because
Yes,
I'm also paying the money, right? I'm paying money
of
and you're
course.
in Ireland, and is this thing going to work, right? And there are a lot of scams out there. So to be
Of
able to give my
course.
credit card information, like, am I
Absolutely.
will I be duped by this, right? Like, so I kept on thinking about it and I did not
Of
had
course.
anybody to discuss this with. because there's nobody could tell me, right? Like, is this the right thing to do? And also, I'm in the US, and people consider, okay, US has like so many good facilities, blah, blah, blah. Why would you
Exactly.
go to somebody else in the world
Online.
when you have so many doctors and physiotherapists available in the US? So, and I'll come back to that why I choose, somebody in Ireland over the people here in the US, right? Like I'll
Yeah.
come to that part later. But so it took me literally about like 25 days, I think, to make that decision to be able to contact you. And
Yeah.
thanks to those testimonials that you have from your patients, and that really, really helped me understand and gave me hope for my future. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Delighted to hear
that's
that.
how I contacted you. Yeah. All
Excellent.
right.
And Muthapa, maybe share with people, like in your own words, what happened in regards to your injury? What was the injury? Since when you have it? What did you do
Yeah,
before you contacted me? I suppose that would be beneficial.
sure. Yeah, I think so. In 2019, in the month of May, I was preparing for a tournament in Vancouver, Canada. I was
Mm-hmm.
preparing for a field hockey tournament, and I'm not a long distance runner, but a week before the tournament, I've always been a sports person. I always used to play sports. But I've never been. I do sprints rather than like a long distance running, right? But that week and the week before, I started like running with my teammates, trying to prepare for this tournament, and I was doing like a maybe like a 2 mile run or a 3 mile run or something like that, and also
Mm-hmm.
doing some kind of sprints. And so I don't know, like I think about like a 4 or 5 days before the tournament, on the one of the day I finished this running and some of the exercises, and I felt some kind of inflammation, or like kind of like a spasms, actually not inflammation, like a spasm, and
Mm-hmm.
something that I've never experienced before. Like I could tell something is wrong in my right lower back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel it, and so I was like, okay, this is not good. So I took rest for the next 4 days, and the pain reduced. Okay, the pain reduced, the pain was gone, because I wanted to go to the play in the tournament. So when I went to play in the tournament, what I experienced is, in during the one of the matches, I could not run at all because I had a lot of severe pain in the IT band.
Gotcha.
Okay, that came as a surprise to me, because I did not experience such pain before. Okay. And
Gotcha.
then and but then I continued playing in the tournament, and I played almost like, I think, 8 to 9 matches in 2 days of field hockey. Of course, not
Okay.
like full match, but
Of course.
but I ran, like, it was great. It was great. And So then I came back, and then I started. So that's when the pain started. So it is like May 2019. Okay, that's when it
Gotcha.
is all started.
Very
And
precise.
yeah, to be precise. But also, here's the other thing. Like in 2016, I had a whiplash from a car wreck.
Got
Okay,
you. Mm-hmm.
and that had affected my entire right side back, to the
Mm-hmm.
point that I was on a wheelchair, taken to the emergency.
Wow.
I could not even move my fingers or move
Mm-hmm.
my right, like, head to the right side. But over the period of, like, next 2 years, I had gotten better. But that pain from the accident was always there. Okay, so that pain, it is like a
Yeah.
I did like MRI. I went to a lot of doctors regarding that. I went to I got acupuncture, dry needling. I went to the primary care doctors, specialists, the physiotherapists, and everything I could do to help me with that pain as well.
Got you.
Okay,
Got you.
so these, like, and everything has been on the right side of my body. It's
Uh-huh.
not like, it's not on the left side. It's just been on the right
On
side.
the right
Okay.
side. Yeah.
So the two main issues now were, like, right upper back, where I had the pain from the
Oh,
accident,
injury. Yeah.
right lower back, which had, because of like trying to run, or I don't know what happened there, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I came back from the tournament, and I visited a physiotherapist here in the US. Okay. And then for the next course of next, I think 5 months until September, or 4 months, I think 4.5 months, I
Mm-hmm.
regularly visited the physiotherapist and did my exercises and things like that. And I had slightly gotten better, but
Mm-hmm.
I always had this pain on the front side of my, so the pain would radiate. Like it was not always on the right lower back. It would be on the
Got you.
right side front as well, in the
Mm-hmm.
front side of my like near the abdomen. And like in 2018 I had a hernia surgery. 2017, sorry,
Got
I
you.
had a hernia surgery. It was an open surgery on my right lower back,
Got you.
sorry, right upper, sorry, in front of my
Abdominal.
abdominal region.
Yeah.
And I actually thought the pain could be because of that, where, like,
Mm-hmm.
the because of the surgery, maybe it has not healed. And
Got
because
you.
I could not pinpoint where the pain was
What
coming
did you
from,
do?
what is the source of this, because I was experiencing pain every day, like at different regions. It
Got
could
you.
be either the right lower back, or like, so my mind is constantly thinking what is going on, like, and I'm telling this to the physiotherapist. They are giving me these suggestions, these exercises. And so I had gotten slightly better, and I went to play another tournament here in Seattle, just for a 2 day. It was a recreational tournament, and I
Yeah.
was in pain. And but the physiotherapist, they had given me a, okay, you can play now. Don't do too much of it. And I took care of it, and I
Mm-hmm.
popped some pain pills, which I never do, just for the
To
tournament.
just do it.
Yeah, for like, like ibuprofen, it will help
Mm-hmm.
you for with the inflammation. So I took some pain pills, and I was able to play the matches, right? And then
Got
I
you.
and then I came back, and I continued to do my physiotherapist. But here what happens is, like, your insurance limits the number of physiotherapists, the
Sessions.
sessions you can
Yes.
visit per year. And beyond that, you have to pay out of your pocket, which is a
Of course.
lot of
Of
money.
course.
So
Yeah.
I had to end my physiotherapy
Because you can
sessions
afford it.
for that
Yeah.
year. Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
that year.
And up to that point, Muthapa, just to clarify this for people, you didn't have a clear idea of what's going on, what's the injury is. You were
Correct.
just getting
I did not.
treatment.
I was getting treatment because here, in order to get an MRI, or
Mm-hmm.
to like, to diagnose it, you need to do all this before the insurance can approve
Yes.
to get an
Your MR
MRI done.
scan. Yeah.
Right. So
Obviously. Yeah.
I was trying, and I was also going to an acupuncturist as well during that time, to try to, because
Help you
I
out.
was trying different things. Yeah. And then it was 2020. So this was 2019, and
Got you.
um, 2020, then the COVID hit, right? Like the COVID
Yes.
came, and I could not go to the physiotherapist, but I was always like feeling pain. Like my hand would always like be, like, even when I'm working, like, my constantly my hand is here, like trying to give
Just
it
stretching
comfort,
it, massaging it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, just
Constant.
touching that area kind of helped me, give me comfort,
Subside the pain. Yeah.
really.
I
So
get you.
I was always in pain. Like, the pain level was different, but it was always, I always had pain. But I had stopped all my sports activities, okay, for
Mm-hmm.
2019. 2019 September was the last time I played sports.
Got
I
you.
used to play tennis before then. I used to play field hockey. I used to play soccer. And so this, and
You
also
stop
used to
all of
play
that.
golf. So
Yeah.
I was completely stopped from all sports activities, okay, which
I
is a
get you.
huge thing for me, like,
Of course.
I
Mentally.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And physically. Yeah.
correct. And so in 2020, so the COVID, because of the COVID, I could not go to the physiotherapist, and I had couple of trips to India, and then I had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
and and then in 2021, so that in January, I clearly remember, in January 15th, around that time, the pain also, in addition to the lower, what I was experiencing in the lower back area,
Yeah.
I had a sharp pain in my knee, on the inner side of my knee,
Got
okay,
you. Mm-hmm.
on the inner left side,
Mm-hmm.
and that actually stopped me from able to walk. without, like, it was an intense pain, like 10, 11 out of 10, the pain
Wow.
intensity.
And
Yeah.
that happened out of what, Muthapa? Did you realize something that happened, or it was just gradually got getting
Nothing.
worse?
Gradually, actually, almost all of a sudden that day.
Yeah. Got
Like,
you.
so I was just trying to walk from my lab at my
Mm-hmm.
workplace to my parking lot. And
Got
I
you.
reached the car and I was almost in tears, thinking like what has happened to me, right?
Got
Like,
you.
because I could not walk without
Yeah.
experiencing. I could not even able to. I wasn't able to walk for like 100 steps.
I get you.
And I reached the car and I'm like, I think I cried because I did not know what to do and I was
I
in a
get
lot of
you.
pain. Yeah. So then what I did, so I started like talking to people and finding out like because I had already done like been to a physiotherapist.
Yeah.
And so what's next for me? Who could be the one who would help me out here? And when I had spoken to a primary care physician here, he
Mm-hmm.
had always told me like, hey, if you need any recommendation, I will refer you to a specialist. Okay,
Got
they are
you.
very good with doing surgeries and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not what I wanted. I did not wanted a surgery. I
Yeah.
did not
You
wanted a
want to figure out
surgery.
what's going on, I
Yeah,
suppose.
exactly. And so I contacted an osteopath. Okay. And osteopath, because what I learned is osteopath is not just an MD, he's
Mm-hmm.
also good with manipulations, right?
Of
Like
course. Yeah.
he's very knowledgeable about
Adjustment. Yeah.
adjustment. So
Yeah.
I went to an osteopath for the next 4 months, from February till June or July. Okay, June, I think.
Yeah.
And so it was mostly for my knee pain because the knee pain had become so intense. Like, I was not feeling as much pain in the lower back
Yes.
as much as the pain. So that's something I realized. I think most of people know already that when you have like several pain areas, the pain which is like at, let's say you have a pain in the neck, but you suddenly break your hand, then the pain in the neck goes away because your focus is only on the your
Yeah.
brain
Yes.
can
Of
only
course.
analyze
Yeah.
one pain at a
Of
time.
course.
Yeah, I did not know that. Now that through the whole of the experience over the years, that I understand that.
Yes.
So yeah, so so the osteopath, used to do manipulations, and I had sessions every week, one session per week, and at the end, in the month of June, after 4 months, there was always this constant discussion about like, okay, what is going on? Why is this knee pain? Like, is it coming from the lower back, or what is going
Mm-hmm.
on? And he had no answers, and I had no answers. So he finally he had to fight, had to
Recommend
fight
you.
with the insurance doctors to
Yes.
approve a MRI for me.
Got you.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
and he got an MRI of the lower back
Yes.
approved. So, and I was able to get an MRI, and the MRI did not show much. It showed a little partially bulging disc or protrusion, and it
Yes.
did not really emphasize on a bulging disc or anything like that.
Okay.
And then I went to like one more doctor who said the same thing. I did not go to a
Mm-hmm.
specialist at that time.
Got you.
I had been to an osteopath, and I had been to another doctor as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2021. And then I started, he referred me to a physiotherapist. Okay.
Got you.
So I went to a different physiotherapist this time,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked with that physiotherapist for about maybe like 5 months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I was already doing physiotherapy along with this osteopath.
I got you.
And so until September 2021,
Mm-hmm.
I worked with a physiotherapist, and he did a lot of like cobra kind of exercises with me,
Yeah.
and like try to help my back. He also had a machine to get me
Yeah.
automated machine to like do like
Decompression.
300. Yeah,
Yeah.
300 repetitions of it. 300, like,
Wow. Yes.
like I would go and just lie down, and there were like 300 repetitions of that. And it was kind of like insane, like, or
Yes.
like your machine does, the machine
Does the
gets
job
your
for
body
you.
to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that was very interesting. And then I went on a road trip. Okay, I took I asked him if I can go on a road trip, and he said yes. And just do these exercises, stretches every once
As
in
often
two
as
hours.
possible.
And
Got you.
yeah, and so it was like a 16-hour drive for me over the period of 2 days. I did
Yeah.
that. And every 1 or 2 hours I did those stretches. Okay,
Got you.
I took my yoga mat and I did those stretches, and I had an excellent trip for the next 2 weeks. Okay, and I did
Yeah.
a lot of hiking and all that. But on the way back, I had 16-hour drive, and actually close to about maybe about 14-hour drive. Okay, and I did that in a single day and
Okay.
not giving a much of rest. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so I had come back because I had to work the next day, and
Mm-hmm.
then about 2 to 3 days after, so the pain, in addition to my knee, I was feeling pain in the foot. It was
Okay.
not really pain. I was feeling like a sensation of, like yeah, it was a pain. Like it was very hard to explain.
I
And
got
I
you.
started feeling radiating pain throughout
The whole
my
leg.
whole leg,
Got you.
like below the knee. So
Mm-hmm.
below the knee, like, burning and radiating pain, like, like it's like gliding all the time. And so
Got
it was,
you.
and like just 2 to 3 days after the trip. So like sitting for so long
I
had
get
just
you.
messed me over.
Of
Okay.
course.
So that 2021 September was the last time I went for any hike,
Got
or
you.
I was able to do anything. Like, so my sports had already stopped in 2019. And so 2021, biking, hiking, and any activity possible was
Stopped it.
completely
Yeah.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Then
then the physiotherapist session also ended because of the number of
you weren't doing, yeah.
sessions I had. And
Yes.
so then what I did was I took yoga. So I started doing yoga because I wanted to find a way to get better, right?
Of
So
course.
I went to yoga 4 times a week, every week until 2022 February.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that was like from October, like close
Yes.
to about 5 months. Yeah, I
Yes.
was doing yoga, like it was great. It
Yes.
was great, but although like I had pain, okay, I was able to
Yes.
do yoga. I
Yes.
was feeling pain. So, but the thing is, I had a hope, right? I had a hope. Like if I could do this, even with
Yes.
pain, I will
I can
get
do
better.
other stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was my idea, right? And in February, what I did, because it was my birthday, and so I wanted to do something for my birthday, go to a nature,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Yeah.
I went for a hike. I did close to about 5 miles of hike with a
Okay.
good elevation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that messed me up again. Okay, so it aggravated the pain. Okay,
Got you.
and I came to a conclusion. Okay, yoga. I did some of the stuffs in the yoga exercises
Yeah.
actually helps me, and some
Mm-hmm.
things may not be a good thing for me. Okay,
Got you.
that was my assumption because I am not being guided. Okay,
Of
I'm
course.
not being, like, I
Yeah.
don't understand the concept of chronic pain management and things like that
Yes.
at that
Yes.
point in my life, right?
Yeah.
So then what I did was I took up swimming. Okay, so because I was talking to people and like, okay, what is the best way to keep myself fit as well? Because
Yes.
I'm like, I can't be stand still, like, and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to figure out a way to keep myself active at the same time to help me with my the pain,
Injury.
right? So,
Yes.
and after talking to several people, they said, okay, swimming is one of the good exercises. So I I started swimming, and I would do close to, like, I just started with like 5 lanes or 5 laps,
Yeah.
actually 5 laps, like in a day. And I go in a month I increased it to 25 laps. So that was like 50 lanes. Okay.
Got you.
And I did that almost like 5 times a week.
Got you.
Okay. And
Got you.
so I was not able to walk though. I was always like I was still in a pain, like
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of managed to go to the gym and do this swimming, right? So that I did for the next 3 months, okay. And in the month of March, once one of the day I went home and from work, and I had extreme pain and, like, so much debilitating pain in the right leg,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That I clearly remember. At the same time my friend calls me, and I just started crying for nonstop 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I just started bawling, saying that what has become of my life, because
Yeah.
I was not able to. I could not even walk a block. It was the
I get you.
springtime, and I usually used to walk a lot. I would walk like
Yes.
8 to 10 miles before that, those
Yes.
years,
Those
right? In the
injuries.
previous years.
Yes.
Now I was not able to walk even a block.
I get you.
I, life had completely come to a standstill. Like I had tried everything possible,
Yeah.
in my knowledge, to
Yeah.
get better, but I was not able to get better. And
Okay.
now, and also the pain. And the other thing, important thing, in the month of March or April in 2022, as soon as I sat in the car, i I started experiencing, within few seconds, within 5 seconds of sitting in the car, I
Mm-hmm.
started experiencing sensation of coldness in my
Yeah.
feet.
I
Yeah,
get
so
you.
that was a very scary situation for me, like a feeling of sensation of coldness in the
Yeah.
feet, like right as soon as you sit in the car.
Of
So
course.
that was a scary moment for me. I was like, okay, will I be paralyzed? What
I
will
know.
I, like, will I have a stroke?
All
Like,
the
what?
scary thoughts
Yeah,
come to your
yeah,
head. Yeah.
yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what should I do now, right? So I wanted to go to India to try Ayurvedic treatment.
Yes.
Okay,
That's very
and
common as well.
so
It's very popular, right?
correct, correct. And it's an ancient Indian practice,
Yes.
and so I went there. I could not go that, well, like I had to go only after, I was able to go only after like 4 months because of the visa situation.
Yeah.
But so what I did, those 4 months were very interesting journey of my life, because I could not sit for more than, because when, as soon as sat, I would feel that sensation of coldness, right?
Yes.
So I never sat except for driving from to work from my house,
Wow.
and like only for 30 minutes, including lunch, including, like, I would only like lay down in the later in the night, once I
Yeah.
came home at like 8 o'clock, like even eating food, I did not sit. I would
Stunning.
lay down and try to, like, try to do everything possible to just to move
Manage it.
the
Yeah.
time, manage it. So for like almost 4 months I did not sit, and I did not drive anywhere more than 30 minutes. Like,
Wow.
all I did was come to work, and I figured a way to stop to the groceries on the way
Yes.
to, like, home.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, I hope I'm not going too slow. Is this a good pace to
No,
talk about?
it's all right. I just want to make sure that people get to the other part of the story as well. But this is
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
This is,
yeah.
I think, is important, Amalapa. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because this is the story that how you end up contacting me before me,
correct,
and
correct.
then what was the next stage? I
So
suppose.
then, okay, then let me fast forward. I went
Yeah.
to the Ayurvedic treatment. It was really helpful. I took most of my inflammation for about 60 to 70%. I
Yeah.
was there for 2.5 months. Then I went to one more therapy in India. It's called the
Mm-hmm.
Jug therapy. Definitely credits to them. It's in
Yes.
Mysore, and they
Okay.
removed some of my, like, I still had pain in my lower back after the
Yes.
Ayurvedic treatment, and
Yes.
they were able to relieve that pain, and they gave me some exercises to do,
Got
like,
you.
a couple of exercises,
Yeah.
and then, but I was still, that pain in the leg had not gone away, in the knee
Got you.
had never
Hmm.
not gone away. It had not reduced,
Yeah.
and so I came back from India after being there for 4.5 months. Okay. And during that time, I also had been to neurosurgeons there, and they took MRIs, and it clearly showed like bulging disc
Yes.
on L4, L5. And
Yeah.
it was clear that that was which is causing the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So now I had the MRI, I knew the source of the problem and things like that. So I came back to US in 2023 January. And
Yeah.
for the next 3 months, all I was doing was these two exercises that the
They
gel
gave
therapy
you.
treatment
Yeah.
they had given me. I think two or three or four exercises,
Yeah.
and I could not even like sit down and do any like my exercises. I was doing it on the bed because
Yes.
I was not able to sit down and do it because I
I
was
remember
scared of
that.
getting
Yes.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
not able to tie my lace. In
Yeah.
fact, I came back to from India to the US on a wheelchair because I was still experiencing pain. The pain was kind of
Got you.
debilitating. It had
Got you.
improved for the
Yeah.
treatment because of the treatment, but I was not, and I was also, my mind was scared. I was really, really scared
Mentally,
about
you weren't.
everything mentally.
Yeah.
Yes. So then I was like I said earlier, this is when I started
Checking out
looking at the
YouTube.
YouTube videos, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then I stumbled on your videos, and then I contacted you,
Got
right?
you.
So,
Okay. Then
yes.
let's move to, let's say, the initial consultation. Let's say when we
Yeah.
start to talk, and maybe describe how was your experience, and then we start your plan. What was your experience in initial consultation, Muthapa?
Initial consultation, you heard me, you heard of what I had to tell you. So one of the most important thing what I really liked about talking to you, right? Like, is you had an answer for every question of mine.
Okay.
I have not come across anybody like a doctor or a chiropractor or a physiotherapist or an acupuncturist or anybody who has treated me over the last few years. They did not had answer for every question of mine in terms of, okay, why this pain could be, why this thing could be, why am I experiencing pain here? Why do you think I'm experiencing? You had an answer, and it was a logical answer.
Yeah.
It was not something that you made up, and I could
Yes.
clearly understand that. And
Yes.
talking to you was one of the best thing that had happened to me, because even though I was in so much pain, okay, that time, Bob, I was not smiling. I was not, because
Yeah.
all my attention was on my pain.
Yes.
Even I was like, I had become like a robot.
Yeah.
Like, I had become
Absolutely.
like a robot, like going to work, and I was, every action of mine, like, every movement would cause pain. So I was very careful about how do I walk, and I was not even walking straight because that was not helping me with the pain.
Comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
But
that.
once when I talked to you, I was the happiest person in the world, because you gave me so much confidence, so much motivation, and so much hope. It was unbelievable. I was really, really happy after every session.
I'm
And I
delighted to hear
look
that, man.
forward, I would look forward to talking to you, because you had the answers for everything. You guided me like, okay, this could be this, and this is what it is. That's what you told
Yes.
me, right?
Yes.
So you created these exercises, and I was supposed to follow it, right? And so those exercises, like, they were some of the exercises which would cause me severe pain, you know and then I spoke to you about it, and you said, okay, why don't you do this instead of that,
Yeah.
right?
And
That guidance.
the perception of pain about, like while you're having pain in with exercise, I think, over the course of time we work together, it changed in your mind that pain is not always a bad thing.
Yes, I so the So the next, I think 4 months or 5 months was the pain intensity was cyclical. It would go like this, like this, like this, like this,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But I had slowly, without even my knowledge, I had started to, like, my mind was being, like, I started to understand more
Yes,
about the chronic pain, right? And in fact, I had done, like, from not able to walk a block, I think in 4.5 months, I did like a 4.5 mile hike.
yes,
Like, and I was like, and I told you about it, like, hey,
yeah,
I had done this hike and things like that, right? So that was crazy. It took me literally about 4 to 5 months for me to grasp and understand most of what you were telling me, for my
absolutely.
brain to understand
Yeah, which
that.
means I suppose to describe this for people, I think you built so much strong belief around your mind that you have
Yeah,
such injury that it would be not really possible for you to get back to things that you used to do.
correct,
and
correct.
and you had experience, you built some experience around it because you tried to do something and then it was got so badly flare up the
Yep,
day after or a week after, and you put you to bed for like, I don't know, 2 months or 3 months, and those
right,
flare up weren't really helpful, and you
correct,
created this belief that something is going on with my back and my leg that I can't recover. I suppose
correct.
that was the toughest part, that overcome those fear and we kind of shape those beliefs that I can actually do things
Right,
and
right,
practically start doing them and build up those steps. I think that was a
right.
quite a difficult things for you, wasn't it? I think, am I right?
No, 100%. And here's the other thing, right? Like, when I was doing these, like, after I started working with you,
Yeah,
even after a few months, I had flare ups. But you had already trained me in a way, like, how do I perceive this pain, right? Like,
absolutely.
if it was somebody else, like, I remember two instances very clearly. One of the time I had been on a camping, and I
Yes,
this pain had flared up, and
yes,
I couldn't lift my hand, and not even like lift my hand at all. Like, the pain was almost like 11 out of 10. And I
yes,
sent you a message and a video saying that, hey, Bob, I don't know what I did wrong. I'm not sure. This is what has happened. And your guidance, I brought that pain down from 11 out of 10 pain level to zero in 10 days,
yeah,
just because of your guidance, right? Let's say if I had gone to any other doctor, they would have asked me to get an MRI because I
yeah.
was in so much pain.
Of
You
course,
know,
of course.
that
Yes,
was like, your guidance, like, to try to how to navigate. And this is without taking any pain medications
of
or
course.
injections.
Yeah,
So
of
for the
course.
last 2 years, I have maybe taken 1 day of pain medication,
Yeah.
which is,
Like I suppose, one of the things that I wanted to maybe start to kind of discuss is that what did
yeah,
you find helpful in regards to the rehab plan, and exercises? Because I suppose now maybe give people a brief idea of where you're at right now. How was your last, let's say, I suppose 3 months, because you've been away, you've been in holiday, you've been doing a lot of activity,
yeah.
etc. Maybe come back to where you're at right now, and let's say, and then we can discuss how we got you to this level, and what do you think, I suppose, at the end of the day, help you the most, that you can share with people.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So at this point, right, after 5 years, after 2019 to 2024, right, I had completely stopped sports in 2019, right, in September.
Yeah,
But this year, February, I got back to field hockey again, playing
amazing.
field hockey. Okay, all thanks to you. Okay, it would
Happy
have
to do that.
never been possible. Okay, I had
Yeah,
not run. Okay, not just playing field hockey. I had not run since 2019.
wow,
So, but now I had ran the, like, the one of the like the fastest, like, I used to run in the month of February, during a field hockey session. Okay,
amazing.
so that's one of the thing. Also, to top that off, um I actually went to Peru, and I did the Salcantay trek, which is like a 5-day night trek.
Wow,
It called about the so the like Peru, the Salcantay trek. The trek itself is at a higher elevation. It's about around at 12,000 feet, when you
Wow.
start. So there is a lack of oxygen. Like you
Oxygen.
need, it's very difficult to like breathe and like to
You need
be
to be
able to
fit. You need to be fit to
very
be there,
very
right?
fit. Right, right. So on the very first day, I my hike was about 14 miles, uh, with a
Wow.
3,000 feet elevation gain. So
Wow.
I was able to do that. From not able to walk a block 2 years ago, a year ago,
Of
to
course.
be able to hike 14 miles at that elevation with such elevation gain was something like an Herculean task, but I was able to do it.
Amazing.
All thanks to you, Bob. All thanks to
I'm
you.
delighted to hear that,
So,
man. It's
so
been a kind of like, yeah, I suppose you've been work for it. You know what I mean? You've been working hard for it. It just didn't
right,
happen just by accident. The fact is that we're gonna discuss about it now, but you've been working
yeah,
quite hard over the last 7, 8 months. You know, you've been training hard, you've been getting fitter and stronger, you know, in that
correct.
way. But keep going, okay?
So in total, I did about 46 miles hike in the next
Amazing.
4 days. Yeah, it was incredible, and then so that was that, and so last 2 years, I did not travel anywhere because I was not able to, like sitting
Yeah.
on the flight. I was not able, except for going to India for treatment and coming back.
Yes.
I had done like nothing. Like I had no social life. I was not going anywhere. I was just in pain all the time. I
Of
did not
course.
go anywhere. But this year, I went to California. I went to Peru. I then I went to Texas to meet my friends. Then I came back and I went camping now. I drove 5 hours
Amazing.
and went camping. And I was able to do all that with experiencing very less pain, like less
Yes.
symptoms. I was able to, like all the stuff that
Managing.
you have taught me. Yeah, I was able to clearly manage it by just like following your simple exercises. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's where I'm
And
at right
if we go back now over the last 6, 7 months, what was your training where look like?
now. So training was very interesting. It was
Yeah.
not it was not easy in the
Mm-hmm.
sense, when the exercises were easy, but my to
Yes.
keep my discipline, right? Because you already have a full-time job, right?
Yes.
And then you have to. So what I did, right? I made my health my priority last year.
Yes.
Everything else was secondary. So
Yes.
that really helped. Your exercises every day, like I should. I did not miss a single exercise for 5 months. I did not
Amazing.
miss a single exercise. That kept me going. So even though my pain level like was cyclical, I was able to do so many things last year, right?
Yes.
From not able to do anything by managing pain. So you
Yeah.
had, in a way, like train my mind also to look at the pain in a different way. It took me about, like I said earlier, like it took me about 4 to 5 months to understand it because I was
Yes.
living it as well.
Yes. Of course.
Like if you
And
tell somebody who is not living it, it's very difficult to understand the grasp the theory that you talk about, like how your body is protective, and you should be able to train your body, right? So those things, unless you're living through it, it's very difficult to understand.
of
At
course, of
least
course.
that I realized. Yeah.
And if I look at, like, you know, if you pinpoint, let's say, 4 or 5 things that really helped you over the course, because, like, to just brief these for people, you not just only managed to get to that level of, you know, activity. You've been training in the gym, you've been lifting weight now, you've been lifting resistance training, which means things that probably in your mind wasn't really thinking about it probably was very scary because I might damage something, or I might pull
Right.
something, because you had a history of back pain for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
If you pick 4 or 5 things that you like to share with people that who watching this video, and they might have chronic pain like yourself and have a fear of they're never going to get better, what do you think would be the shortest way that you can explain them those 4 or 5 things?
Yeah. So last year, entire year, I made health my priority. That was one of the biggest thing. That means what I did was followed your routine, your exercises consistently without fail. Okay, for like
Amazing.
about 6 months, I did not miss a single day of my exercises. Okay,
Amazing.
even though couple of exercises had aggravated the pain, I told you then, I shared that information with you, and you guided me through what other exercises that I could do instead
Instead,
of this. And you had a logical explanation of why that flare up, like, that
happen.
exercise could have aggravated the symptom, right? So it's
Of course.
basically the consistency, not stopping from these exercises that like your plan, your routine, not stopping it and doing it consistently regularly was one of the biggest thing.
Amazing.
Okay, and the second biggest thing was I've had flare ups since then, right, since I
Of
started
course.
working with, because I've been on hiking, been doing so many things. I even actually danced after 4 years, because I used to love
Great
dancing,
of that. Yeah.
and I had stopped dance, like any kind of dancing, for like 4 years.
Wow.
And to be able to dance at a friend's wedding was amazing. And so all these things actually caused flare ups. But your advice and suggestions during those flare ups was so critical, because that really helped me out to understand why and what I could do next.
Exactly.
Like your advice and your, suggestion and recommendations on what I should do to bring that pain down,
Of
and what
course.
I could do next time,
Modifications. Yeah.
modifications. Okay, so that was the second thing. And the third thing was your focus on, just let's start with these activities. Let's focus on what you want to do. So you asked me, like, okay, instead of me wanting to do everything at once, you wanted me to choose, okay, let's pick up two activities that you want to start doing.
Have a
So I
plan,
picked up
basically.
hiking.
Have a
Yes,
short-term
I picked
plan
up
and focus on the
short-term plan.
short-term plan.
Exactly. So I picked up hockey and hiking last December. I told you, hey, this is what I want to focus on. And within 2 months, I had the result. I had started playing hockey, which I had not played for the last 5 years. That's
Amazing.
huge.
I
That's
know.
huge, right?
Amazing.
So that was possible only because of your like the routine you had given me, and the confidence that you had given me. The fourth
Delighted to hear
thing,
that, man.
yes, the fourth, I think this is actually the biggest of, more than anything, right? Trying to understand your concept of, body is actually protects you when you're in pain, and pain is not necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely.
So that was very, very, it took me a while to understand and grasp that
Of
idea,
course.
right?
Of course.
But, and that once I understood that, the way I look at pain is so different now. Like I so even like day before, when I drove like 5 hours for camping, I experienced pain and all. To get rid of that pain,
Yeah.
I just did my mobility exercises for like 20 minutes, and I was able
Exactly.
to get that pain away. So that
Exactly.
I've learned how to manage this pain. And I'm actually, like for the last 2 months, I had almost zero back pain.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
And
like my leg pain is gone away too. My knee pain has gone away too. So I
amazing.
do
Muthapa,
experience.
in regards to your fitness level, how would you rate yourself? Because you've done so much physically and mentally, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because I'm gonna share some of your videos that probably start you initially and what you're doing now in the gym. How do you
Yeah.
mentally think about yourself as well? How do you think that has changed?
Yeah, 100%. I am more fitter now. Like I know I have, like I even without in playing in any sports, I think I've lost a lot of weight. Like in terms of like like what I instead of saying lost a lot of weight, I should say I think my
You tone
body has
up.
toned up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Toned up
and
and you
all
got
that
stronger.
Correct. I have become stronger, right? So,
Amazing.
and the idea about like as you become stronger, your pain level goes down. That's
Yes, of
exactly, and
course.
that's what
Yeah.
you always told me. That's like like when I started working with you, that's always you told me. Like you as you become stronger, your pain level will go
Pain
down,
level drop
and
down.
that's
Yeah, and
exactly
your tissue
yeah,
become much more tolerance to activity, which means your threshold and your adaptability goes up as well with it. All right,
correct.
and Mulapa, I think I mean there's a lot to talk. I really wanted to share much more, but we may have another video in future to share more of your story. I
Yeah,
just want to ask you, by consideration of you had a lot of doubts about this plan initially, you know what I mean? Do you think this
yeah.
is suitable for people who are actually injured and they have back pain and they haven't found any solution? Because I suppose you have a bigger perspective of what I do, how I do things, and how I help my clients. Would you recommend this to people with similar type of pain?
100%. I already recommended like two of my friends to
Of
join your
course.
treatment plan as well.
Yes.
And like you are a godsend. Your treatment plan, like,
Thanks, man.
is your treatment plan is magical. Like all the physiotherapists, like the osteopath and everybody who had been to, right? Like how much progress I got from them to the amount of progress I got from you, it's insane. Like I've actually gotten my life back now.
I'm
All
delighted to hear
thanks
that,
to
man.
you, Bob. Yeah, all
No,
thanks
thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you for sticking to
Yeah,
the plan and thank you sharing your story, man, because there's a lot of, I suppose, value of people who are watching this video. And one thing that is, I repeat again, that our body is adaptable. If you
yeah,
pay attention to your body and see what you can do and what you can't, and have a plan, give a structure, get help, and
right,
beside that, don't ever lose your hope because you can do things. Maybe it's
correct,
difficult at this moment, but now a year later you're doing things that you couldn't believe a year ago that you could do, because of
correct.
those flare up. But things can improve. You can build up that body again, and physically and mentally you need to work on it. It's not just the physicality of it. You need to
Yeah,
learn, and you need to, I believe, learn more about how much pain can be protective, as you mentioned, and not always pain is a bad thing and equal to damage, because a lot of people
right.
correlate pain with damage. Thanks again, Muthapa, for your time and your consistency, man. We will definitely record more videos. You have much more to share with people, and I'm delighted with that because I think I didn't want to stop you because I wanted to tell them what you wanted to share, and it might be a little bit longer, but that's what it is. But thanks again, man. I appreciate your help.
I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you have any question regarding to your recovery, you can leave me a comments. I try to answer all of your questions. It might be with a little bit of delay, but I try my best to answer any question that you send me on my channel. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, make sure to subscribe. I update online rehab plan and testimonial on a weekly basis, and these routine can be hugely beneficial for you if you're suffering from lumbar disc bulges. If you're looking for more customized plan, you can always contact me through my website and book an online consultation, and we can get you started right away. Until next week, all the best.